In over 20 years, as a corporate trainer and learning facilitator, I've seen and observed, I've recruited, I've employed hundreds and probably thousands of other trainers and facilitators. In my experience, there are two things that really set aside those that get exceptional outcomes, those that create real learning results. My name's Simon Tyson. In this short video, I plan to outline those two critical differences for you. Now, the first of those differences is all about contextualization. Every participant who walks into your training room walks in with the question, what's this got to do with me? Why is this even relevant? Why should I be here? Why am I wasting my time? Things are building up on my desk. And you need to show them a compelling reason that the learning that you're going to offer is going to make a relevant and meaningful difference in their everyday work life. Now, there's a couple of critical ways that you can achieve excellent contextualization. We have a philosophy that our job as facilitators of learning starts well before we enter the training room and finishes well after we leave it. From a contextualization perspective, what that really means is that so much of it is achieved before I even meet a participant. By working with the client to understand the people who'll be attending, but not just their jobs, but also their pressures, their objectives, their goals, the demands on them from other departments, from external stakeholders. When we understand those things, we can make the message in the training room relevant to solving those problems. Of course, once people walk into the training room, it's not too late to start contextualizing. If you create lots of opportunities for people to participate actively in the learning, and if you listen really carefully to those responses, you'll see many ways in which they're asking you, how does this relate for me? How can I use this when I go back to my desk tomorrow? Be prepared to use a lot of stories, a lot of analogies, a lot of examples, because it's those that actually bring the basic material to life and make it meaningful. We had a participant in a training room recently who sat fairly disengaged, fairly unsure about whether we were going to offer any value for them. Fortunately, in the preparation for the course, the training manager had given us an example that this person had faced in their everyday work life. When we moved on to some new material and applied it to that specific example, they sat up, they took notice, and all of a sudden they started to believe that what we were covering in the training room could actually have real-world application for them. Be confident in yourself and confident in your material. When you've got that confidence, instead of rigidly adhering to a session plan, you'll be prepared to enter into discussions where people challenge what you're telling them, because it's when they're challenging it that they're really grappling with, how do I apply this to getting better outcomes in my everyday work life? The second key to creating real learning is engagement. Have they walked into the training room to have information inflicted upon them, or have they walked in to be an active participant in the learning process? Now, there are many ways to make people active participants in the learning process. The first of them is have some fun. Anyone who tells you that fun doesn't belong in the training room doesn't understand the learning process. When people are laughing, they're probably learning, assuming that they're laughing about something that's relevant. Also remember that you've got to apply really strong adult learning principles. People do learn in different ways. We have different learning styles. However, at the heart of it is the need for activity-based learning. Now, that doesn't mean you've got to play games. It doesn't mean you've got to take them out and have them crawl through a rope course. There are many ways to create activities that involve groups of people sitting around applying the learning, for example, to scenarios. Always try to work on that principle that I'm going to tell them, then I'm going to show them, and then I'm going to let them do it. Now, the telling them gives them some instructions. The showing them gives them a model. But the letting them do it actually creates the learning. Another way to create engagement in the training room is to be likeable. If people sit in your training room and resent being there and don't particularly relate to you, it's going to make engagement a really difficult thing to achieve. However, if they find that your training room is a place they can come to have some fun, to get involved, where their opinions and perspectives and experiences are respected, then you're going to create a much more engaging learning environment. Now, of course, these are just brief tips, and would love to talk with you if you'd like any further input on becoming the best corporate trainer you can be. Whether you're an existing corporate trainer, learning facilitator, or whether you're thinking of becoming one, would love to suggest you visit our website and have a look at the information there on becoming either a franchise partner or a licensed partner. In the meantime, all the best with a satisfying and rewarding career as a learning facilitator.